This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so what we have discussed about Jira, and in Jira we have discussed about the how to create a defect. So defect is, what is defect? Can anyone tell me what is a defect? Able to remember? What is a
It-
defect?
It's the difference between the expected and the actual result.
Yes, correct. So we are expecting something and we have actually something else. The difference, what is the difference here? That is a defect. Okay. Suppose you are expecting user to log in and user is not able to log in. So the difference is there. It means it is a defect. If both are same, it is fine. So we are expected should be available on a screen, and actually also we are getting same, means it is pass, right? We will not raise a defect for it. So we will raise a defect for the differences that we see, for the expectations that we have and actually what we have. Yes. So the difference between expected and actual is the defect, right? So we write all the details about the defect in the defect while we create. Summary is, in short, we give the detail. Mobile search, mobile item search not available. Okay, in the description, we give all the details, steps to reproduce. Okay, so before this, we have to write what is steps to reproduce. Steps to Steps to reproduce. What are these steps? These are the steps to reproduce. Okay. So we will give the details like in detail. What are the steps? How we are going to see the defect. Okay. How or where it is available, on which screen it is available, or if you are using which user for that this defect is, you are able to see, so that it gets easier for a developer to fix. Okay, so what is the objective of finding the defects? Objective of finding the defect is so that developer fixes it, right? He fixes it and then again we have to do the retest and close it, so that the defects is no longer available in the application, right? So this is needed to be understood by the developer so that he fixes it and you can again retest it and close the defect. So it should be easy to understand where the defect is, how to reproduce it for others as well. Okay. So consider Pavani, you have created this defect. Okay. And later on, Vaishnavi is testing it. Okay. Maybe Vaishnavi created, later on it is assigned to Pavani for a retest. So it should be easy to understand how to retest it for a QA also. So steps to reproduce will help in understanding what we have to test. Okay. So this is about defect. Okay. So some of the practicals we will discuss now. So everyone create, everyone created around 5 defects. Everyone is able to create the defects. Okay. So you do not have the invite, Shweta, so I'm sending it now. Okay. So you will get it. Sandhya, you have the Gmail, you have the Jira invite.
I don't have it, Rajni.
Okay, you have it.
No, I
Okay,
don't
fine.
actually. Hello?
So I have sent the invite, okay, to your Gmail ID, Shweta, Veena, okay. So you can log in, you can create a password for your account and log in, okay. Yes, okay. So now we will see creating the defect, okay. So I don't have a Jira invite. Sandhya, you do not have. I sent a mail. Okay. Sandhya.
Take them, Rajni. Thank you.
Yeah, so I sent the invite to three of you guys, Veena, Shweta, and Sandhya. Okay. So you guys will get. So everyone create the 5 defects. Okay. So everyone should be able to create minimum 5 defects. All 5 defects can be about the Amazon application. Okay, so we are considering Amazon application for understanding because we have used it. It is easy to understand, right? So this is easy to understand. You can write it for any other application also. Okay, so everyone used Gmail, right? Yes. Okay. So Gmail everyone used. Can what we can write in the summary field. So, Navya, in the summary, we write description and steps to reproduce. So, suppose your description is too long. Okay, so mobile search item is not available. So, you will write the detail again in the description. In the description, what you will write? You will write all the details like where the defect is, how to reproduce, all the details. Okay, this is about the details. Mobile item search not available for a user, test user one or for a all the details you will mention. Okay, test user one. This is your user one. For that user, it is not available, or particular type of user it is not available, and these are the steps to reproduce. So in the description, you will write more and more details. Summary is in short, and in the steps to reproduce, we write all the details. Okay. Okay, Navya, yes. So you will receive it, guys. 5 to 10 minutes it takes to receive the Gmail invite. Okay. So Jira invite it takes some 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes also sometimes. Okay. So we have also discussed about test case creation. Yes. Yes. No. Okay, yes, we have seen about test case also. So test case is user is able to log in. For that, what are the steps? Launch a URL, click on a sign in, input a username, input a password and log in. And user is able to log in. So these are the steps. From how or where we write the test cases, from the requirement we write the test scenarios, right? Requirement can be user is able to log in. Okay, so with the username and password, sometimes it may be username and OTP. User can log in with username and OTP. Okay, and user is able to search the items. These are the requirements that are given by the client. Who gives the requirement, guys? Tell me. Who will give the requirement about the project? Okay.
Client.
Client, yes, right. So the requirements are given by the client. Okay, so there is a client, he knows what he wants. Okay, he knows what he wants in the application, so he will give the requirement, like what all details he wants in the application that should be available, what are the features that should be available on the application, that all features he will give. So some of the sample requirements are here available. Okay, so based on this requirement you will be able to write the scenarios. Okay, so requirement is user is able to log in, okay, with the valid username password. User is able to search the item. Scenarios, what we write for that, user is able to log in with a valid username, valid password. User is not able to log in with invalid username, invalid password. So user is not able to log in. Whenever we are testing not able to, then it is a negative type of scenario. Okay. In the testing, it is must to have the negative scenarios. What is negative scenario? Scenarios where we are testing user is not able to perform any action. Okay, so in which case user is not able to perform action, that is your negative case. Okay, so user is not able to log in for an invalid username and valid password. User is not able to log in for a valid username and invalid password. So anything is invalid, like username or password or both, then user is not able to log in, right? So validate that user is not able to search items with the invalid search keyword. So this is also again a test case for a search. For a invalid items, maybe like star and hash, you are giving the details, like you are searching for the item without any keyword. Okay, just a blank and search for an item. Okay, just give a slash or something and search for an item. Okay, so this is invalid keyword search. Okay, then there are no items with that invalid keywords. Invalid keyword means it can be blank, it can be any special characters. Okay, then user application should not throw error message. It should give some search results, or no items found is also fine, but it should not give a error page on the screen. Okay, so how we write scenarios? Scenarios we write from the test cases. No, we write from the requirements, right? So we write test cases, scenarios from the requirements. First we write scenarios. Scenarios are high level. Then in detail we write in the test cases. Yes, able to understand. Okay, so what we write in the test case? Each and every step. Okay, the steps are click on this, perform this action. So each and every detail what user is going to perform. Okay, each and every detail like click, launch, navigate to this page, all the details we write in the test cases. Yes, everyone clear with test cases, scenarios and defects? So can we have reply from everyone? Yes, no? Yes? Okay, good. Okay, so now a small assignment for everyone. So now you have to write test cases for the Gmail, okay, application. So everyone has used Gmail, right? Yes. Write test cases for Gmail. Okay. Yes, everyone used Gmail, so you will be able to write the test cases for the Gmail. Okay. So you have to write a test case for a Gmail. This is the assignment, guys. Yes, I'll share the template. Okay. So you will receive a template. Coordinators will share you so that you can write the test cases. Yes. Yes. So after test cases are created, then we execute it and write the actuals. So when we write actual results, yes, only after creating the test, right? Yes, only after the test. Yes, after designing the test cases, we write actual results, and for actual results, we compare it and then compare it with the expected result, and we write pass, fail, and defects. Okay, so suppose user is not able to log in. Okay, so you are testing it and user is not able to log in. So that is defect, right? So we write in the defect, the defects are in the defect sheet. So we write defects in the defect sheet and in the Jira tool as well. Okay, so nowadays people are not following to write the defects in the sheet. Okay, so it will be directly added to the Jira, but for now, when you are practicing, write the defects in the defect tab. Okay, so create one separate sheet in the Excel and write your defects, the observations that you find, so that we understand, okay, how many test cases we have and immediately how many defects we have. Okay, for the all test cases together. Okay, yes, so write it in the same. Okay, so now we will see what is RTM. RTM is requirement traceability matrix. In this RTM, we have requirement ID, scenario ID. What is requirement ID? This we have in the requirement. Okay, requirement document will have some IDs. Each requirement will have ID 101, 102, 103. Like this, you have thousands of requirements. Okay, so many requirements you will have. Okay, Consider you have all these requirements. So we will take the requirement ID 101. Okay. For that requirement, what are the scenarios we created? 101. The scenario we created is user is able to log in, not able to log in. Like this, 4 scenarios we created. Okay. So we add all 4 scenarios in this. For this requirement, what are the scenarios we created? All these 4. Okay. And we mention all those 4 in this, all those scenarios. So scenario IDs we mentioned for this requirement. Okay. Again, we will write the scenario names as test case names as well. What are the test cases? User is able to log in positive, user is not able to log in invalid. Okay. So like this, you have multiple test cases. For now, we have only 2 test cases. Okay. So we will write 2 test cases. Scenarios are 4. So you should write 4 test cases. Okay. So once you write all 4 test cases, we will write, okay, all the 4 test case IDs here. 4 and 5. Invalid login, invalid login. Okay. So these are the 4 test case IDs we have. For this requirement, these are the scenarios. For this scenario, these are the test cases. Okay, then after you add test case IDs for the test cases, suppose we have for this test case we have defect 1, for this test case we have defect 2, for another test cases that is working, maybe there are no defects for another test cases. So there are 2 defects for this all 4 test cases after you tested. Okay, after you test, you found 2 defects. So you will mention that 2 defects. RTM is requirement to scenarios, to test cases, to defects. This is a traceability. What is a defect for which requirement? What is a requirement is failing with which defect? Okay, so you can understand here in this RTM that what are the defects, that requirements are, what are the requirements, okay, and for which requirement, how many defects we have. Suppose for this requirement 2, we do not have any defect. It means it is working fine, it is a pass. So this requirement we completed. Yes, so this requirement we do not have any defects. So we have completed it. So wherever there is failure, so that requirements are not completed. So RTM will give the traceability of requirements to defect, defects to requirement. That is where RTM is important. RTM is requirement traceability matrix, where it gives the details about which requirement has which defect has which requirement. So by directional traceability it gives. So from this direction also you can understand that requirements to scenarios and IDs, test case IDs and defects. And also this is a one direction, and other direction is from the defects we can understand what are the test cases we have, what are the scenarios we have, and what are the requirements we have. So it is a bi-directional traceability it provides. Okay. Able to understand what is RTM? Yes. Able to understand everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. RTM. So everyone you have to create test cases and defects and RTM for the Gmail. Okay. So for a Gmail you have to assume some of the requirements. Okay. And write the scenarios and write test cases, write defects, and then write the RTM as well for the Gmail. Okay. So this is a assignment for you guys. Will you be able to do, guys? Yes, no? Okay, Shravani, I'll repeat one more time about the Jira. Okay. Navya, yes, I'll explain Jira one more time.
Yeah, for me also. I didn't hear that.
Okay, fine. So everyone able to understand creating the requirements to test cases, to scenarios and defects and RTM? Yes, okay. So everyone has to create. Now everyone, you have to create this. Okay. So we'll share this template to you. Okay. Fine. So now we will see what is Jira. Jira is for a project management. Right? Project management means what are the activities that are completed, not completed. So all those things we will have in this Jira. Okay, so create and you have to select the issue type as a bug. Okay, so initially it may be story. So select the option bug to create the defect. So here we write the details. User is not able to log in. Okay, so this is the detail. So admin user is not able to log in. You mention the steps to reproduce also all the other details. Okay. So some other detail steps to reproduce. In this, you have to write all the details. Okay. So then assign it to developer whom we assign the defect. Suppose Ambika is developer, we are assigning the defect to her. And click on this create. Okay. So this issue is created. Yes, we can click on a view issue. So this is a defect that we created and these are the details. Okay. It is assigned to this. Very simple it is. Yes, now able to understand how to create a defect. So you can create it, assign it to somebody. Yes. Okay. Yes, everyone. Right. So you have to create 5 defects. Okay. So create 5 defects for the Gmail. 5 defects you have to create for a Gmail. Everyone has to create the defects now. Okay. So this is the assignment for you guys. Simple it is. Any 5 defects you can consider. User is not able to log in or user is not able to send a email. Okay. Receive a email, save a draft. Okay. All the details you can mention. Okay. Any defect you can mention about a Jira. Yes. So will you be able to create? Should we create, want to create a new project name as Gmail? No, in the same project where you are asking where to create a project, which project? In the Jira or in the test case template? In Jira. No, do not create any new project. Okay. So just in this project only write your test cases, write your defects in this only. Okay. Whenever I create a issue, this message pops up.
Hi Rajni,
If you
hi,
want to, yes,
this is Richa. Can you hear me?
yes.
So whenever I create an issue, this message pops up that changes are saved, but issue is not visible. For issue AM40 to be visible, it must match your project and filters and have a status that is
Okay.
assigned to the board.
Okay, so you are not assigned to any project. You are not able to create it means.
No, I'm able to create and I'm able to assign, but when I click on the button to create the final creation button, this message pops
Uh-huh.
up that for issue AM40 to be visible, it must match your project and filters and have a status that is assigned to the board.
Okay, so when you create, do not change the project. Okay,
Okay.
just select this Amazon project.
Mm-hmm.
Do not change it. Just issue type, you have to change it to bug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and give the details and create.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll try that one. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Adila, how can I get that page? Which page you are asking, Adila?
I was not there for the previous classes, so I'm not getting how to do that
Okay,
assignment.
so, okay, did you receive a email invite for a Jira?
No, I didn't get.
Okay, so can you please share your email ID so that I can send you the
Okay.
request? Yes, okay. Invite I will send to you. Okay.
Okay.
So you will receive the invite in 5 or 10 minutes. Okay.
Sure.
So you can create a password for your account. Just login ID will be your email ID. Password will be the password you will set. Okay.
Okay.
And with this, you will be able to start working. Okay. So
Okay.
how to create a defect, I will tell you. Click on this create. After you log in, you will able to see the screen. Okay. So you will be able to see the screen like
Mm-hmm.
this. What is we have is, yeah. So you will be able to see the screen after you log in. So you will have to click on this create.
Okay.
Okay, check the issue type as a bug. Okay, so you
Mm-hmm.
have initially story selected, you have to change it to bug. Okay, then you have to mention the defect details user is not able to log in and some more details about defect in the description. Okay,
Okay.
assign it to somebody like assign it to others. Developers we assign generally and click on a create. Okay,
Okay.
yes, create it, done. So issue is created here. So you can click on it and see. Okay, Bhavani, if we want to check the defect which we created by us. So the created by defects, your work you have to go and in recent you will be able to see all the defects that you are working on recently, whether you created or you commented, okay, you changed the status, all the defects are available in the recent. Okay, so go to your work and go to recent. You will be able to see recently involved in which all defects you worked on. Assigned to me is which is assigned to me. Like these are the defects that are assigned to me for a testing or for verification. Okay. Could you please explain about RTM? Okay. Yes, this is clear. Everyone, fine. So now we will see about what is RTM. Okay, RTM means what? Requirement traceability matrix. Yes, what is RTM? Yes, what is RTM?
Requirement traceability metrics. So
Okay,
we have to
yes.
find which requirement ID have which defect
Yes, correct.
and what
Like
defects.
anyone else who want to try what is RTM?
It is to make sure that all test cases have been verified.
Yes, correct, Gayatri.
Yeah.
Is maintained to track the defects.
Okay. Yes, correct. It is to maintain the track defects, maintain the test cases, defects all together in a one sheet so that we understand what are the requirements that are failing, what are the requirements that are pass. No defects means it is a pass. Yes, no. There are no defects for this requirement too. It means that is pass.
Yes.
This requirement doesn't have any defect, right? So it means it may be pass, right? Or not tested. If tested, then it is pass. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Okay, so what we write in the RTM? So we take the requirement IDs from the requirement. Okay, so all the requirements we add in the RTM. Okay, so all the requirements we add it here. Then for this requirement, what are the scenarios that we have? So all the scenarios we added here for the requirement one. What all scenarios we have? Sometimes we will have only one scenario, which is fine. You can mention only one is also fine. If you have multiple, you will mention multiple. Then for that test scenario, what are the test cases we have? Sometimes there will be only one test case. For one scenario, okay, one requirement has one test case, one test case has like one requirement has one scenario has one test case only, and there is no defect also. So you have to mention one or more as it is. So you have to go back to scenario sheet and what is the requirement for that requirement, what we have created the scenarios. Okay, so that we understand what are the defects, test cases, scenarios, requirements in one sheet. So for this requirement, what are the defects? If no defects means this requirement is working fine, pass. And these are the test cases that we have tested for this requirement. Okay, so this is very important document in terms of making the decision. So client will look at this RTM and understand, okay, how many defects are there, for which all requirements I have the defects. Okay, which requirement should be taken as a priority to fix the defects, which requirements we can fix later. So all those management decisions can be taken by looking at RTM. So RTM is requirement traceability matrix. Bidirectional traceability we get. Bidirectional, why it is called as bidirectional traceability? From the requirement to defects, we get to know which requirement has which defect, and we get to know like from for which defect what is the requirement. Okay, this test case is failing regarding which requirement we have tested all these. So we get to know the details in requirement to defect, defect to requirement. So we write RTM, we maintain RTM so that we understand what is the update on this. Yes, able to understand everyone? Good, very good. Okay. So now for a today, you have assignment to do. The same these test cases, scenarios, defects you have to write for a Gmail application. So what are the test cases you will be writing for a Gmail for a sample? Tell me guys. Can anyone tell me what are the test cases you will be writing, the test case objectives you will be writing for a Gmail account? So I'll give 2 minutes for everyone to think and write the scenarios or test objectives what we are going to test for a Gmail. So what we will be testing for the Gmail like this? Tell me. Scenario, one-liner. You can type it in the chat also. Okay. Yes, Swati. User unable to compose a mail. User is able to log in. Okay. User is able to log in. Yes, scenarios are yes. You will test user is able to do these activities. User is able to delete a mail. User is able to see the sent mail. User can create a new account. Correct? User is able to send mail. Verify username must be available and able to click. Okay. Yes, correct. Yes, everyone should reply, everyone should type some of the scenarios. Okay, so you can write verify that. Okay, so your scenarios are correct. Just you write verify that user is able to log in, verify that user is able to perform so action. User is able to save a draft, correct? Not able to save a draft, search a email, yes. So you can write positive, negative, both. Okay, user is not able to reload the page. User is able to read the message. Okay. Verify user is delete mail with the trash. So you are writing user is not able to do this. Okay, but in which case user is not able to reload a page? Yes, Giridharan, we have to say that user is not able to log in with the invalid username. Okay, so what is the reason where user is not able to reload a page? User is not able to send an email, right? So if user is not able to, or user is not connected to a network, then user is not able to send a mail, right? So you can write verify that user is not able to send an email if user is not connected to network. When user is not connected to network, right? So user is not able to receive an email when user is not connected to network, right?
Yes.
Then not able to reload when not connected to network, right? Like this we will write user is unable to see previously read messages, in which case he will not be able to read the previous emails. So scenarios we write user is not able to user is not able to read the previously read messages once deleted, right? So user is deleting the messages and now trying to read it because they are deleted and not available, right, Usha? So we have to write where it is not available. Okay, in which case it is not available. Scenarios are like you have to write user is not able to perform so action for so reasons. Okay, so these are the things. In these cases user will not be able to perform this action. So that is scenarios we are writing. Okay, so user is not able to open the messages which are deleted, open the emails which are deleted. Okay, user can delete at a time some 50 emails, right? So verify that user is able to delete the bulk delete. Bulk delete means at a time 50 he is able to delete, right? Verify that user is able to add two to the mail IDs which user want to send an email, and those email IDs should receive the email also, right? So we are going to send it, but did they receive or not? We have to test. Yes or no? Verify that forget email link is available. Yes. Okay. It is not just forget link is available. We are testing Aditi that user is able to reset the password with forget password link. Okay. Forget email link, with that user is able to create a new email, right? Unable to do forget password. User is not able to download the attached document. Okay. So in which case user is not able to download the attachment, Giridharan? When he will not be able to download? You are writing like a defect. Okay. So user is not able to do this. That are the defects. Okay. Scenarios are verify that user is not able to do so action with this parameters. You have to write it in that way. Everyone is almost writing like a defect. Verify that user is able to download an attachment. Yes, that is correct. So email, once he received the email, he can download the attachment. Okay. So Bhavani, you are writing login, compose email, delete email, search an email, unable to see star message, not able to report a spam, send option is not working. Okay. So, okay, you have written a requirements, like all these requirements you will be testing. Okay, good. So, Bhavani, at the same time, these are the scenarios. Okay. So, these are login, compose email, this everything you are going to test it. So, you have to write the scenarios for this also, right? So, scenarios will always start verify that user is able to do this. Okay. Yes. Now able to understand, validate that user is able to add, okay, CC and this. Yes, that is also correct. And they are able to receive the emails also, we will check. Yes, correct. Yes, guys, you have understood now how to write scenarios. Okay. Yes, good. Validate user is not able to download the attached document. Verify user is able to forward the email. Yes, very good, Swati. Yes, now good. So, Rajan, good. Validate that user is able to add a CC. Yes, okay. Validate that user is not able to download the attached documents. So download the attachment is not working when the network is not available, right? So validate that user is able to change the password. Yes, correct. Yes, you can write test cases, validate that email is marked read after reading the email. Yes, Veena, correct. So everyone you have to write minimum 5 to 10 scenarios for the Gmail. Okay. Validate if user is able to access spam folder, send primary deleted emails. Yes, correct. Yes, Udaya, correct. Yes, guys. Okay. Very good. So now you can create scenarios and test cases. Good. So we'll continue tomorrow, guys. Okay. Thank you. Validate if user is able to compose a email. Okay. Thank you. Good. Yes, okay. Thank you, guys. Have a great day, great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you will get the template, guys. Yes, I will share it with coordinators. Coordinators will share you the template. Okay. Yes, we have the session tomorrow. Yes. So you will get an update from management as well if there is a no session. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys.